So when you're in your fat loss journey, you're trying to get lean, whatever your goals are, just trying to get yourself to a healthy weight, whether you've got like extreme body fat on you or not, but just something you have to deal with anytime you're in this kind of weight loss phase. I get asked a lot about how to deal with hunger, or how much hunger do I have to deal with, because people don't like being hungry. It's not comfortable. You have hormones in your body that are designed to keep you alive, keep you in survival mode, and it sends a hunger signal when it's like used to getting food or feels like it needs food to your brain, signaling discomfort and saying, hey, feed me, we need to survive, and we need to be able to put on body fat to keep ourselves able to, sustain our life, because your body kind of does like to have a little body fat on it, especially if it's, worried, I guess, that it might go some period of time without food and needs to rely on the body fat. So that's the way I understand it from my research anyway. So, you do end up dealing with these hunger signals, these hunger pangs that your brain receives from your body when it's like, hey, feed me, feed me, feed me, and they're designed to be uncomfortable. It's kind of like pain, it's a pains that don't do that signal, right? Like, oh, that hurts, it's causing damage to the body, don't do that. So it sends the pain signal to your brain, just like, hey, feed me, I need to eat to survive. It sends a signal to your brain signaling discomfort so that you feed it. And people obviously naturally don't like that. They don't want to receive hunger signals any more than they want to receive pain signals. It sucks. It's not comfortable. It's not pleasurable, and that's that. So how much do you have to deal with that? And how do you combat that a little bit while you're in a, fat loss phase? And I'll tell you, it is something, at least to some measure, to some degree, if you're on a fat loss journey, if you're trying to lose weight and you're eating in a calorie deficit and you're experimenting with however you're doing it, whether you're counting calories and you're eating less and you're weighing your food out and you're switching things up, or even if you're taking the approach I do where you fast or whatever, you are going to experience hunger to some degree. It's inevitable. There is going to be a degree of hunger involved when you're trying to lose fat. You are going to receive hunger signals at some point, some way, shape, or form. It's going to happen, so you're going to have to deal with that. And obviously, if you look at society and you look at the world around you, you can pretty much walk outside and pick out the people who have a problem with that and the people who don't. Or, there are people who absolutely have zero tolerance for any hunger signaling. They just eat and eat. They have to eat. They have to satisfy. They have no tolerance for it. And, I've never done like GLPs, like Ozempic or any of that kind of stuff. Kind of from what I understand, did they kind of kill that hunger signal? Or at least, and then they make you say, I don't know. I've never done it, so I can't really speak to it. I've never done them. I don't ever, I never will. I don't honestly know a lot of people who I've talked to. I'm sure I know people who have done them. Nobody in my life that I'm really super personal close with has done them to my knowledge though. So I haven't had a lot of discussions on them, and I'm not interested in doing them. So I've got no reason to research it. So I know there are some people that seem to have had success with them. My concern lies in the long-term effects of them. So that's why I don't do them, and I don't teach them in any of my programs or systems, or to people who ask me for help, or the people I have guided along their weight loss journeys. I've never taught that method. or use them as a tool. It's more of the grit your teeth and do it the old-fashioned way kind of a guy. But I understand there's people who just, they can't do it without it, you know, and if that's something you need to explore, I'm probably not the channel for you, but, you know, go do what you got to do. So I can really speak to a couple different ways that I've done it, because I've experimented a lot of different methods and things like that as I've tried to lose weight different times in my life. Most successfully recently for the last about 6 years, and I've tried the calorie counting and tracking method before, weighing my food out, eating higher protein versions of standard American diet foods and all that kind of stuff, and protein does help a lot. It's satiating. There's unfortunately a lot of products on the market, I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, like high protein versions of Pop-Tarts and Cheez-Its and shit like that kind of stuff, you know, glorified protein bars and, you know, stuff made with whey protein and things like that, that a lot of people have success on because it kind of scratches that itch. And I've tried several of them. I have, you know, eaten these products at different periods of time, and I haven't in a while now, so I'm sure some of them have gotten better over time. But I didn't find them all that satiating. They really just use whey protein for a lot of their stuff, and I don't find whey protein to be very satiating. It kind of runs right through me. It's a very fast digesting protein, and I've just never considered it to be all that satiating and filling. So, oops, I'm not turning here. Whoops, sorry about that. Anyway, but some people use those high protein products, and to me, like I said, I don't find them very satiating. I think the best method that I have noticed is a high protein, animal based, whole foods diet. I have been on a carnivore diet, animal based diet, whatever you want to call it, low carb diet, zero carb diet really, for several years now. And that's primarily the method I have used, and it has worked best for me. I find it satiating, I find it filling, I find it satisfying. I'm not saying that I don't deal with hunger at times as I'm trying to lose weight and eat less and things like that. I do fast after all, and you are definitely going to feel hunger at certain points if you are fasting. But to me, it's just a very satiating and satisfying and gratifying way to eat. I find myself getting all the nutrients I need and feeling good, and it makes dealing with the hunger and stuff like that just easier. I'm a person who finds meat to be very palatable. I know a lot of people have and that's what I think a lot of the problem come from, is people just want highly palatable foods. You know, I think a lot of people think they're hungry when they're actually not. They're just either bored or thirsty even, or just want to eat something. Their body just is used to getting fed at certain times and wants to intake some more and consume more food. So people eat when they really shouldn't be, and that's how we're in this mess that we're in with all these, you know, obese people now. Because I think that's almost the norm. I have a hard, it's something I've tried to become aware, where I pick out like the fit people, and like the people I pick out as fit, I've really got to stretch that, like fitter than most, even though they're not like super lean. I consider myself like in a tier of being in shape beyond what most people see are, and I still feel like I've got improvement that I can make, and I still have a ways that I can go. I have an itch on my nose, man. Bad time to record a video. I got too much going on. Anyway, so that's the approach that I prefer, is like a high protein, animal based, you know, high fat, natural, whole foods way of eating. A carnivore diet, I love it. I think it's a fantastic way to eat. There's some people, it's a controversial thing to stay still even in 2026. This diet's been around for quite a while, and more people have been trying it and seeing great success on it, but it's still almost like a controversial, you eat what? Oh my God, kind of a diet. But I find myself not dealing with the hunger so much. I do fast as well. I've tried just about every fasting methodology, and typically at any given time I'm using one of them. The ones that I kind of use the most are OMAD, which I'm doing right now, 1 meal a day, where I pretty much eat either one meal, or it's kind of like my food is spread out within an hour, and an alternate day fasting, where I don't eat one day and then I'll just eat without any restriction the next day. But I still pretty much stick to that animal-based carnivore type diet just because I love it so much, and I feel awesome on it, better than I have on any other way of eating, including, high protein, these bodybuilder type diets, and I'm eating carbs, so I feel phenomenal when I'm on a carnivore diet. So even when I'm doing fasting, which is always, I feel great. So, and I make sure I just eat enough to where, I'm getting an adequate amount of calories, where I'm not losing muscle or anything like that. My hormones aren't getting shot, and I'm still losing body fat and everything. I'm still able to work out with plenty of energy, which I do. So I digress. But so on OMAD, for example, which I'm on now, do I feel hunger throughout the day? At times I do. Yes, my body has gotten used to it. Definitely during the adjustment period and adapting to getting on OMAD, there's definitely hunger for a couple weeks, because you have hormones, ghrelin, that, for example, that signal hunger to your body. That's like literally their job, and keep you eating. And your body, like I said, gets used to eating at certain periods. Probably through your whole life you've pretty much eaten at certain times, and your body's just used to that, and it sends a signal to your body like, hey, don't forget, it's time to eat. And you get that signal and you want to eat for a couple weeks, and then eventually your body realizes, like, okay, we don't eat at that time anymore. It's a hard thing to describe, but it's like your body figures it out after suffering for a couple weeks. And you will feel hunger pangs, you will be hungry, you will be fucking miserable at certain points. I'm not gonna lie, it does happen. But after a couple weeks, if you can slog through it, your body will kind of be like, okay, and maybe you'll get a little hunger signal once every couple days or something like that. Typically, I drink some water, I drink some coffee, and it kind of goes away. I meet a lot of people who just cannot make it through that couple of weeks adjusting to an OMAD diet, and that's why or OMAD fasting, and that's why I've done a video where I recommend kind of just slowly shrinking your eating window, and that kind of does lessen the blow a little bit. But it's not so bad. I'm able to kind of suffer through these hunger pangs as they happen, because I'm not thinking about food all day. I find ways to keep myself busy doing other stuff, working on this kind of stuff, spending time with my family, helping other people out, just activities, reading, focusing on my writing, coming up with video ideas, things like that, just finding stuff around the house that needs to get done, just filling my day with activities that don't revolve around food. That has been a big part of my life, has been always finding like the next food. It's like our lives are revolved around food, and it's so freeing if you can make it through that couple of weeks getting used to your diet, where you're not just focused and concerned about food all the damn time. I literally worry about food for about an hour of my day, and I've noticed the ROI on that I get, the return on investment when I find ways to fill my day with other activities at times I'd normally be eating. I don't have to spend that half hour to an hour worrying about breakfast, making breakfast, whatever it is, eating it and all that. Same with lunch. I just channel all that into my one meal of the day at dinner time. It saves up so much time and so much energy throughout the day that I would spend worrying about the next meal, the next meal, the next meal, the next snack, the next whatever. Then I got to a point where I don't even think about it. I'm drinking water throughout the day. I drink my coffee in the first half of the day, fill my thermos up, and I rip through my coffee, and then when that's gone, that's it. But it does curb my appetite pretty well. Water the rest of the day, a couple bubbly carbonated drinks maybe, 0 calorie if you need to. Those things are all things that help, But the big thing is just shifting your mindset and slogging through it for a couple weeks to where your life is not revolved around food. Your body will respond to that. And the same thing kind of goes for that alternate day fasting. The first couple weeks, it's tough. It was tough at first, getting used to it. There are times where I think it's almost easier than OMAD, because I do have times of the day when I'm on OMAD, like I am now, where I kind of think about that meal coming up, and it does make me a little hungry, and I do get excited for it. Even still, after I've been doing it for a while, I think, when that meal's sitting in front of you're kind of looking forward to it. It's almost your reward for getting through fasting all day. Because there are days where it is not easy. It happens. And it's totally fine. You're not starving to death. It's just your body telling you it would like to eat. But I know I'm not starving to death. I know that when I eat, I am feeding it adequately. So it's no concern to me. I know I'm realistic and I'm able to be smarter than my body and know, okay, it just wants to eat. I've gotten plenty of calories. I've gotten plenty of nutrients. I got plenty of body fat on me to sustain living for a long time. We're good. So getting through those times, when you do have a meal to look forward to, there are days where it can be tough. But then you eat that meal and it's like a reward for getting through it at the end of the day. It's pretty nice. So that is kind of a nice way to deal with the hunger. Like, I'm hungry now. I know I won't be. And it's not real. Like, the hunger signal is it's not a real thing. It is not actually a warning that I'm about to die, which to some people you would think that's what it feels like. Like they're on the verge of death because they haven't eaten anything since the donut 2 hours ago and they're starving to death. And that's the other thing. If you're making good food choices, if you're eating whole natural foods, even if you're not on a carnivore diet, but you're eating plenty of meats, if you're not a meat eater, I'm not going to be the channel for you. I'm going to throw that out there now, and I've said that numerous times in other videos. Like when I talk about eating meat, even if, like I said, I eat pretty much a carnivore diet, but I understand there are people out there who want to eat fruit and vegetables and stuff, and I can, you can still listen to me, when I talk about eating a whole food diet. But if you're primarily vegan or something like that, I'm probably not going to be of any help to you. I'm not going to ever teach that way of eating or anything like that. I don't believe in it. Just, welcome to stay. I don't care. I'm just saying, like, when you're in the comments screaming at me about not being a vegan, don't say I didn't warn you. I don't care. But, yeah, so just, and then the same thing with like the alternate day fasting. To me, it's almost easier when I know flat out, straight up, I'm not eating today. I pretty much don't think about food at all. It's crazy. The first couple of weeks, same thing, kind of an adjustment, kind of was a slog a little bit. But once you get settled into alternate day fasting, and I will go back to alternate day fasting again once kind of I feel like OMAD's kind of run its course. I'll probably switch back to alternate day fasting. when I know that I don't have a meal coming that day, I kind of just like, all right, well, I might as well just not think about it and focus on other stuff. And then the next day, I get to refeed myself. I get to replenish my nutrients, replenish my calories, and kind of enjoy myself, eat as much cheese as I want, eat as much dairy as I want. If some other crap sneaks its way into it, it's nothing that I stress about, because I've fasted the entire day before. So everything kind of counts as half. And I just don't, the days that I fast, I know I don't have to think about food. And I kind of with that same mindset with OMAD, like, don't worry about that meal. It is coming, but it's not coming till later, so you may as well focus on my other stuff. You just have to find ways to kind of trick your body. But hunger is something you will deal with. It is something that I have proven you can deal with. Plenty of people that I have helped along the way have proven you can deal with it. You will deal with it. Sometimes you got to grit your teeth, you got to put your face in the fan, and you got to deal with the hunger a little bit. Man up, deal with it, understand it's not real. Obviously, when you do eat, provide yourself with the calories and nutrients to keep yourself sustained, keep your life sustained. You can do it. It doesn't honestly take all that much. And that's pretty much it. So as always, hit like, subscribe, drop me a comment down below. I'm working on a way for you guys to hit me up outside of this. If you have questions or you want to work with me or anything like that, have me help you on your journey. Probably gonna end up getting something set up in a comment, maybe in this video, if not, hopefully the next one or two. But yeah, from there, keep going, keep chugging along, do all the like, subscribe, all that stuff again, and I will catch you guys in the next one later.